Right, welcome back guys to another video, and what we've got for you today is, as you can see behind me, we've got two of Germany's V8 monsters behind us. One is more of a focus sort of car, and one is more of a muscle V8. And as you can see, both of these, they are absolutely mega cars. So these really are classed as last of the proper cars, even though the newer ones, don't get me wrong, are perfect cars. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on Instagram, performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles, obviously. So do check us out. Sounds absolutely mental. Not as loud as the M3, nowhere near as loud as the M3. They've got a completely different sort of tone to them. If you're after a bit more of a discreet car, a bit more of a undercover sort of car, you don't want it shouting out big spoilers, big wings and stuff, then the M3 E92 and the C63 W204, or even the 5 and the F80s, they're perfect cars to go for. You can actually jump in and drive them, absolutely normal. There's no difference to the drive. But the moment you open both of these cars up, they've got the MDM button, so you can just put them to your own settings, and it turns into a complete and utter animal. And with these, you put them into manual or sports plus, and again, they turn into a bit of a wild car. The E92 M3 is a car that you can throw about more. It's a bit more controllable, whereas this thing, the back end seems to want to just twitch out on this car every time you put your foot down around a bend, especially when you've got the traction in sports mode, whereas the M3 is a bit more focused, a bit more controllable, hence why they're a bit better on track. They perform better on track. So then, the interior of the C63, as you can see, this thing, they're very similar to the non-C63 AMG models, and there's very minute, distinct difference. I mean, this one, when you turn it on, it comes up with the AMG, obviously, on the center screen on top of the rev counter, and obviously you've got the normal 6.3 V8. They're very, very simple sort of cars inside. It's got, I mean, this one comes with the actual carbon pack, so it's got all the carbon fiber door trim, aluminium door handles. The memory actually seat buttons are on the doors as opposed to on the actual seats, as a lot of cars do. A little bit of gloss black styling here, gloss black on the center console, and again, aluminium buttons, sat nav screen. Yeah, as you can see, it's actually a very, very nice interior. The cockpit is actually a beautiful place. The two-tone seat, very, very good. The panoramic sunroof is not a must-have, but I must admit it makes a massive difference, humongous difference, especially when you're spiritedly driving, should we say, and you can actually hear this. You can hear all the noises and stuff with the windows closed, doors closed, obviously doors closed. It's a very tame sort of car. It's a very standard car, so you can't really hear a great deal. So onto the M3. Again, this is another beautiful, beautiful interior. But again, it's very, very similar to the actual non-M-Power car. With these, obviously, you've got your flappy paddles, again, because it's the DCT box. The standard ones don't have the power EDC buttons, which is just bespoke, I think, to the M3s. And again, you've got a sat nav, all the actual center console, the climate control buttons are all there as per usual with any car. And this is for the sat nav, and you can check your service history on the actual screen through that button. So again, the interior is actually a very, very nice place on this M3 as well. With the C63 has the buttons, the electric seat buttons on the actual door, whereas the BMs have it in the conventional, as with a lot of cars, on the actual seat itself. So, and obviously the rear seat's perfectly usable. So if you've got kids, baby seats, perfectly usable, and as they are with the C63. But I'd say the M3 ones are probably a touch better in the sense that the C63 actually has, they're a bit more like a bucket as opposed to the M3. M3 ones are a bit opened up, and again, they're a bit more, usable, should we say, for baby seats. The other thing I actually really like about this M3 is these have pillarless doors. So again, you got nothing here. It is just, obviously with the door closed, you can't really see anything. It still looks the same, but with the door open, it's actually a very good feature. This has got secondary decat pipes on it, which do exaggerate the noise a little bit. And the M3 does have primary decat, a decat downpipe and a backbox mod. So it's got more exhaust work done. So yeah, check these two out and let us know which one you think sounds better in the comment section. They sound absolutely awesome. Both of these cars just are absolutely incredible cars. With the M3, with it being a dual clutch system gearbox, the actual gearbox on it is fantastic. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the way they work is the second clutch on it automatically engages a gear, the next gear, before you selected it. So as soon as you select it, it's instantly there and it's on. Whereas the AMG is a bit more analog. And it kind of like, there's an ever so slight delay. And I know I've read up before forums where some people actually say, it's too much of a delay. But with the M3, it's like now third gear, perfect, instant. It's just, you snap the paddle and it changes gear. So either drop it to fourth. And it's such an awesome drive this car has got. The way the whole thing changes gear, the noise, it's absolutely incredible. Like you drop a gear and it just shouts at you. Like that raspy sort of shout that these M3s have. And the one thing you could tell the difference with the M3s compared to the C63 is these do lack low down grunt. They don't have as much of a pull lower down in the rev range as the AMG. The M3 has more settings on the gearbox, purely down to the fact that it is a dual clutch system, whereas the C63 has just got your conventional park drive, reverse, neutral and manual sort of changes, whereas the M3 you can adjust how sharp you want the gear change, how quick you want the gear change, and as soon as you put it into your MDM mode, if you've set it up to be in like the as lowest mode that you can be, you can scare cyclists though. You give them a bit of a blip and they automatically nearly fall off their bikes. This M3 is incredible. So what we'll do is we'll jump into the C63 and just to give you guys a bit of a feedback on that. Terrorizing the neighborhood. The C63 is available up to 2014, whereas the E92 M3, I think they did like a phase out model in 2013. So, but the later cars of both of them are the better cars. The earlier ones did have a few little niggly little problems, especially the C63. I think I'm kind of like drifting away from the actual drive. They both feel fantastic to drive. This car feels very good to drive. It doesn't feel as planted as a 92 M3. Which is one of the main reasons as to why people prefer them to these. They've got more of a racy sort of feel to them, whereas the C63's got that muscle car feel. It's got it's a German muscle car. These are quicker in a straight line, they're better on track. Depending on, again, what you need the car for is, what you buy the car for. So if it's just a daily driver, like for myself, it was more of a car that I just wanted just to drive every now and then, like a fun sort of car, then either one of them will do. If you're thinking about a car for the track, get yourselves an M3. If you want a car that you just want pure noise and straight line power performance, then the C63 is the one to go for. It's oh, this is so good, this car. Oh, traction control kicked in. Oh, what a car, what a mega car. It's just a rare sight on the road. You just don't see especially these two cars driving back to back, one behind the other, you just don't see them. So now that we've been out for a drive in both these cars, we've walked around it, talked about a couple of little things about these cars. So the C63, from my experience, is a very analog sort of car to drive, in the sense the gear changes are a bit slower. And the M3 is more of a digital. That comes with a dual clutch system, whereas the AMG is just a wet clutch, single clutch system. So it is a little bit not as sharp as an M3 DCT box, but in their own ways, they're still fantastic cars. If you're after more of a track sort of car, a bit more of a focused drive, then the M3 is probably the one for you. But if you want something that's just pure raw power, brute sort of muscle car thing, but you still want reliability and you still want a Mercedes, to be fair, then the C63 AMG is the one. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. We're on Instagram as well, performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. Do check us out. We've got videos uploaded on there already. There's going to be something on there, I'm sure, for everybody. And we've got plenty of content to come. It is all just generally performance car related. Check out the videos we've got uploaded, and we'll catch you on the next one.